German artist, and his name is Markus Lemberg, and he is from Dortmund, Germany, and he too is in many museum collections. But he has expanded his whole collection because he, first of all, is very well received in Europe, very well received in, of all places, the Middle East, because he's done a lot of museum installations, because he will paint walls. And when he paints a wall, that means that he takes the architecture of the wall. So if it were that wall over there, then all of the stripes are going to be horizontal. But if it were just the doorway, then it would be a vertical kind of presentation. So he does 3 different kinds of paintings. And he has wonderful sculpture too. He does one kind of painting, which is epoxy resin. And there are different applications of epoxy resin. He does another kind of painting, which is encaustic, which is the beeswax, that he has then put the oil amongst the beeswax. And then he does a third kind of painting, which is the oil on linen. And the only time that he ever uses a brush is when he is using the oil on the linen. But with the epoxy resin, it is many, many layers of very brightly colored. Well, first of all, he takes styrofoam cups and he puts a different color of pigment in each one of them. And then he pours the epoxy resin into each one of them and has an industrial mixer in which he mixes it extremely well. And then one kind of painting is done on the wall. And he will have, and they're on wood, sometimes they're on canvas. And I always appreciate the canvas ones because they're lighter and I couldn't handle those more readily. But he also works on wood. And he takes, after he's done that whole mixture, and he pours. And because of gravity, it comes straight down and it causes drips. So we're lucky to have this to show you because we don't have any of the drip paintings available right now. But they come down, and you can see here, if he does not want it to be absolutely straight, then he takes his finger and he guides things. And then he goes back and he pours down more. So you can see where he has many, many different colors on top of each other. And now what he is doing, which we think is so exciting, is that he will pour and then he'll stop. And then after the drying process, then he keeps doing it. So throughout the whole of either the painting or the sculpture, you get to see these little bumps. And these little bumps give it that much more texture because that lets you know that throughout the whole process, he has stopped the process and let it dry. And then, of course, when the little drips come down, now he has excellent English, and he says he does not want to create stalactites. So at a certain point, he cuts them off. And then with the encaustic, he has, in this case, he has put tea towels, glued tea towels to the wood, and then he has mixed the pigment with the wax, the beeswax, and then this also is done flat, and then he's taken an iron, and he has ironed the color into the towels, and how he can have so many different layers and so many different colors, and how it is not muddy, I have no idea. But when you stand to the side of it, you will see where the imprint of the iron has caused having the wonder of getting the encaustic on there. So these are some examples of pure use of materials and then the abstraction, what makes something abstract. But you don't see any minimalism in most of these, with the exception of Marco Casatini's work. And that is so abstract because of the beautiful blocks of color that he is using. But he has filled his space. Yeah. Whereas William upstairs, he sees his spares again.
Those architects.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, the architecture, absolutely. Less is more. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask, but I just want you to have a good time looking at them. That artist is using found objects. He's going to be our next artist, and I don't think he's going to have very many found objects because he also afraid to have a lot of garage work, but we love it when he uses his garages. And you see our abstracted figure there, so that's one of our figure people.
This has got to be some kind of text.
You know what that is? That is from old Civ. You're too young to ever know
Oh,
what that is. But the Civ,
picture.
Okay.
and if you don't have electricity or the solar power isn't strong enough for a blender, by golly, this is what you do. And you know what he's done with some of those? He's cut off the top and he's used then the bottom part for other things. And he's made some wonderful jewelry for his wife. That I have some that he makes a necklace out of that top, and they're just as beautiful. Or he uses them as some part in some other piece as an object for the artwork. So you just never know what John's going to
We
do.
should put in touch with our neighbor. Neighbor's mother died. She was 95 in upstate New York and had a barn full of old barn tools.
And you know, that's another artist like that. Just, oh, they're wonderful, yeah. But some antique shop is probably burned off or something like that, because those old tools are
Well, they've just haven't gotten that far with it. We said, gee, how do you even figure out what to do? You know, you need to do something, but what do
What
you
do you
do?
do? Well, I know it's something that precious, so 95 years, oh my God. There's some jewels and gems in there, that's all.
Do you have a catalog or brochure on the link?
Yes, they are for $20. And that's the postcard. And you can also go online and see everything. The website is there, www.
Okay, good. That's a great way to do it.
And it's even better because the catalog, of course, is a general catalog.
Right.
It's not a big show, whereas the website has everything finished.
Website is what we want.
And we're probably taking it. But
You got it.